consideration is entitled, If is the Only Peacemaker. Conflict resolution theme. Classical literature helps resolve a conflict arising from misinterpretation of the other's actions. The scene in a park.
I'll never speak to her again. That bitch.
Never?
Never. Slap me in the face? How dare she?
It was that bad, huh? Why did she do that?
How would I know? She's a bitch. That's why.
No way to make amends?
No. Oh, she's tried, but in ways that just make it worse. She's telling all my friends how sorry she is.
Is she sorry?
No, that's just her slutty way of telling them her side of the fight. And she's begging them to call me, trying to get me to accept her apology.
So you don't like the idea of anybody being a mediator?
It won't make any difference. She doesn't really want to apologize. She just wants to make me look like the bad guy. Who on her?
You know, I'm reading a very interesting play that might help. It was written several hundred years ago by a really great thinker.
Several hundred years? That's worse than my grandpa telling me what to do with idiots. I doubt if any dead person knows the meanness of this woman. But go ahead. Tell me what he said.
This man's ideas were highly valued, and his name was Touchstone. And he was telling another man about how he settled a fight.
Wait a minute. Touchstone? What are you reading? Some kind of touchy-feely book about getting along?
No. In the dictionary, touchstone is a way of measuring quality. Now, I think this man Touchstone had potential for great leadership. He got people to listen to ideas by using a humorous story.
Okay, enough with the lesson. What did he say?
Well, he says that a quarrel goes through 7 stages. Like this. Touchstone didn't like the beard style of a certain courtier. And when Touchstone told him so, the courtier replied that he himself liked it fine. And this is called the courteous retort.
Courteous?
Yes, you know, mannerly. Touchstone then repeated that the beard was not well cut. The courtier replied that he isn't trying to please Touchstone, just himself with his beard. This is called the modest quip.
Quip? Modest?
Yeah, like he was being clever and witty. Touchstone again says the beard is poorly cut, and the man responds that Touchstone's judgment is not good. This is called the reply churlish, like being, sullen and putting down Touchstone's opinion.
And what's wrong with that? How else do you get them to take back their insult?
Well, listen further. Touchstone continued about the beard, and the man says Touchstone is not speaking the truth. This is called the brave retort. Touchstone one more time says the beard is not well cut. The man says Touchstone is lying. This is called the countercheck quarrelsome, meaning that now the quarrel begins in earnest.
Touchstone says that our arguments are quarrels. But I'm just defending myself.
Arguments become quarrels when our emotions take over and we quarrel without thought.
Oh, I was thinking, all right, about how I could match her rudeness.
Okay. Well, Touchstone said that the next step would be the circumstantial lie. And I think this is what today we would call an insult or slur to our life status.
Oh, I know. Something like calling you queer or the N-word.
Correct. And next, the direct lie. This would be the insult that is not based upon any type of prejudice, but a highly emotionally charged name-calling.
Oh, like me calling her bitch. And her calling me hoe and slapping me.
Yes, it's these last 2 quarreling actions which bring us to hit and sometimes kill each other. But Touchstone said that even if you get to that terrible last step, you can still avoid the fight and settle the argument by the use of if.
If?
If.
If?
Say to each other, if you said this and that, then I must have said such and such. And then you can shake hands and part on good terms. Touchstone said that if is the only peacemaker.
If?
If.
And how do you do an if?
I don't know. I thought maybe you might know. If you could think of how this fight between you and her started.
Oh, my head just starts swimming with rage when I think of it.
We'll start at the beginning. Where were you?
I was at the Round Table Bar and Grill with my husband. We'd had an argument at home, and we were in our makeup stage, being nice to each other and fixing the mood for makeup sex. And in walks Chrissy, laughing loudly, drawing everyone's attention to her. Once you look at Chrissy when she is all gussied up, it is hard to look anywhere else.
I was so happy. My boyfriend Sam had just given me a pre-engagement ring, the first big step he's made towards a commitment to us.
So there she is, low-cut blouse, mini skirt, hiked up to her underwear, fishnet stockings. All eyes were on her.
Oh, Sam had picked out the outfit that he loves to see me wear, and he says, let's go show off that ring. So we went to the Round Table Bar and Grill where all our friends hang out.
So she's laughing, talking to people as she passes through the bar, and then she spies John and me. And she starts bouncing her boobs as she jumps up and down, squealing like a pig. She's waving her arms, and everyone then looks at us. There goes my intimate moment with John.
Oh, I wanted to share our joy, especially with our friends, and everyone seemed so happy, too. I mean, everyone was laughing and hugging me and shaking Sam's hand, and then I saw Alex and John.
And here she comes, bouncing and jiggling across the room, sticking her arm straight out and pointing her finger at me. I thought it was the middle finger at first. Thought she was making fun of me in her stupid way.
I said, look at what Sam has given me. Isn't it beautiful? And I showed her my ring.
She bends over, almost flipping one out on the table, and breathes dreamily right into John's eyes. Of course, his eyes are somewhere else.
Well, it was so noisy in that bar, and the music was playing so loud, I couldn't hear what Alex was saying.
I said, I think that blouse is a little low.
She said something about my blouse, and I said, I like it too.
So I said again, that blouse is too low, expecting her to get the hint and to get her boobs out of John's face.
Well, I think Sam likes it fine. So I turned back to Sam to check with him.
So what does she do then? She turns her behind to us, bends over, and flashes her other side. John almost fell into his cocktail.
Well, Sam looked at me, so I felt better, and I turned back to Alex.
She turned back around. I then said, and your skirt is too short. I can see the Grand Canyon.
Well, I told her that she doesn't know what she's talking about. I thought maybe she'd had too much to drink. John seemed happy, so I smiled at him.
Your blouse is too low. Your boobs are hanging out. Your skirt is too short.
Well, you're lying because you're just jealous.
Jealous? Me jealous of you? You, the town show-off? Trailer trash from Lower Bimbuttu? You bitch!
Oh, well, you're just a hoe! And I slapped her. Sam grabbed me and we left the bar.
After they left, John and I began fighting again. So we left too. And that leads to today. She keeps trying to make up and I won't have it. Besides, it will just give John the idea that it's okay for him to look at Chrissy like that.
So if we replayed this scene using an if, how would it go?
How's this? If you will give me a gun, I will get bullets.
Oh, Alex.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Any other if ideas?
I could have said, if you apologize for flirting with John, I might consider speaking with you again.
So if means that Chrissy must apologize for your interpretation of her behavior.
What? Do you really think I should question whether she was flirting with John?
Possibly.
Well, I can't accept her apology for slapping me, because that will give John the idea that looking at her like that was okay.
Are you saying that if John gives you an apology, then you can accept Chrissy's apology? You're holding John responsible for Chrissy's actions?
Well, no, not when you put it that way. I don't know. You're getting me all confused.
Don't be. Now, you're thinking about blame. First you blame Chrissy, then you blame John. Perhaps you blame them both.
No, I know John is loyal. He just embarrassed me by being so silly. So, what other ifs?
We'll try again.
if Chrissy had stayed home, this wouldn't have happened.
The reversal of time solution. If only such and such had not occurred, then I would not have done such and such.
If she had worn different clothes, then I would have noticed her joy rather than her body.
Change yourself so that you can have empathy for her. Isn't that like saying you only approve of people who follow your rules of social etiquette? Perhaps that was your thought when you referred to her living in a trailer park?
Are you implying that I'm closed-minded or judgmental?
When you are rational, you are the most accepting person I know. But when emotions take over, then perhaps other attitudes surface.
So I was irrational during that argument?
Quarrel. You are a very rational person when you argue, and you win most arguments because you can remain calm when others are losing their cool.
Okay, back to the if. How can an if stop this quarrel before it reaches a slap?
Shakespeare wrote these lines for his character Touchstone in As You Like It. I think that Touchstone was not using if in the way that many people interpret his speech. That is, well, if you will admit that you are wrong, then I will admit that I was wrong, or some other sort of lying about the conflict in order to get out of the fight itself.
Yeah, that's what most people do. They lie about their true opinions just to end the argument, but no one changes their mind about anything and nobody forgives anyone.
Touchstone's final words about the quarreling men. If you said so, then I said so. And they shook hands and swore brothers. I say that the emphasis would not be upon the you said, I said, but upon the if-then statement.
If-then? If-then? That's the if? That's the peacemaker?
Touchstone is saying, use your heads, people. Stop the quarreling. Begin thinking logically, not emotionally. Stop name-calling and insulting. We must reach out and touch each other's hands as brothers and sisters.
Well then, logically, Sam picked out that outfit for Chrissy. He wanted everyone to see that he had made a good choice. And what better confirmation than to have other men look at Chrissy and envy him for his fine choice of a mate.
So what is your if?
So my if to Chrissy would have been, if you said that Sam made you wear this outfit, then I would say it was to make John compliment Sam. And we could have hugged each other as women who understood the drama of maleness.
Thank you, Touchstone.
And thanks to the old bard himself.
Thanks, Shakespeare.